Hello, everyone. I'm here with Alison Inman, who is the chair of Tpas, but will also be chairing the NHS Customer Experience and Resident Engagement Conference on the 25th of February next year. We're going to talk through some of the content for the conference and a bit about what you can expect to hear on the day. So, Alison, first off, the cost of living crisis is obviously showing no signs of going away, and as we know, some social housing residents are among the hardest hit by it. So I wanted to ask what you think housing associations can be doing to help support residents with their finances as best as they possibly can.
Oh, thank you. I think this is a really interesting question because the answer is broader than talking about cost of living, because I think at the heart of the question is how well do housing associations know their tenants and residents? What do they know about the people living behind their front door? And I think there is a real spectrum of understanding across the sector. And that's a problem. It's a problem if you don't know enough about the people who are, who are living in the homes, because we can't help people appropriately. So some people are going to need a lot more help than other people. So it's one of those situations where treating everybody the same is not the answer. We've got people who are impacted in lots and lots of different ways. So I'm a board member of a rural housing, predominantly rural housing provider. So we don't, a lot of our properties don't have mains gas. So that's a whole different set of questions. Whereas you might have people living in properties that are served by a district heating centre, some kind of heat network. Totally different issues there. Older people might need different support to people with young families. So we are seeing a range of fantastic stuff, but I think those people who get it right really, really understand their communities and the individuals living in the homes that we manage.
Fantastic. Thanks, Alison. So there's been an increased focus on strengthening relationships between landlords and residents over the past few years. And I wondered what you thought the main changes have been in terms of resident engagement and tenant voice during that time.
So we have seen a real step change across the sector for lots of different reasons. Some of them make me a little bit sad, and some of them I find really cheering. So there are a core of landlords who have taken resident engagement, tenant engagement, really, really seriously for the whole of their existence. And there are others who maybe took their foot off the gas a little bit following the demise of the Tenant Services Authority in 2011, and again with the rent cut. So it's whether or not people saw tenant engagement as sort of front and centre to everything they do, or as a nice to have. And I think what we've seen with the new regulatory framework is that tenant engagement is not a nice to have. You should build your services around your tenants' needs, wants, expectations, and that services are so much better because of that. So we say at Tpas that good engagement should do one of three things. So it should improve services, it should help drive value for money, or it should help make communities more robust and better places to live. But it's not about face painting, it's about proper engagement that leads to improvement, leads to saving money, which, yes, saves money for the landlord, but more importantly, will keep service charges lower, will drive value for money in procurement. These are all things that good tenant engagement can help you with. And now, obviously, it's actively, proactively regulated by the RSH. And we're beginning to see, and it will be interesting at the conference to sort of learn from other people's experiences, but we'll beginning to see a little bit of a picture of how, under the new inspection regime, the RSH is actually, making a judgment about tenant engagement. And that is not just asking the landlord. You know, what is
Yeah.
really heartening, and at Tpas we are so delighted to see, is that, you know, the same weight of evidence, I suppose, is given to conversations with tenants as is given to conversations with landlords. It's as it should be, and you know, we're delighted to see it.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Finally, you're chairing the NHF's Customer Experience and Resident Engagement Conference in February. I wanted to know what made you want to do that, but also what are you most looking forward to about the event?
So I came to the event last year and I really, really enjoyed it. It's always interesting and just so much richer experience when you have tenants, leaseholders, you know, shared owners in the same room with engagement staff, with senior staff of housing associations, all, you know, a whole host of different people. For a lot of landlords, their tenants don't get to necessarily talk to tenants of other organisations, and you know that's what we love doing at Tpas, is bringing tenants together, learning from each other, sharing expertise, sharing their experiences. And I think that's what this conference can do, with a whole host of, you know, engagement and experience content. So how do we use digital, you know, as a way, as the means of engagement? How do we really deliver the services that our tenants want and need? So that one of the questions we're asked, you know, most often is, if I can tell where my Amazon delivery is, if I can tell where DPD is, and I know what time British Gas are coming, why is it so difficult to know when my repair is going to be done by my landlord? And we need to start delivering some of those things for our tenants. With, you know, we can sometimes look a bit analog in a digital world. So, and together we can actually, you know, make real progress there. And, you know, hearing from the tenants who are doing scrutiny, when scrutiny works well, it's fantastic. You know, tenants have the answers because, you know, they're invested in having value for money out of their rent, but also making things better for other people. You know, learning from complaints, we're going to hear from the regulators, but also from, you know, from the Ombudsman Service. And that's, you know, important to allow not just senior staff of organisations, but staff who are actually doing, you know, the hard work on the front line, to hear from some of these people, and hopefully enable them to do their jobs even better. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Well, hopefully the conference will be a really good opportunity for people to hear more about how they can do better and to learn from what others do. So we look forward to seeing you there, Alison, and hopefully we'll see lots of the people watching this there as well.
Brilliant. See you then.